Here we are now with the Z Fighters returning to Earth after the battle with Frieza on Namek. This time around, Namek doesn't get destroyed, and the Namekians are able to rebuild their homeworld. Goku, Krillin, Gohan, Bulma, Vegeta, and Piccolo all return to Earth in Goku's spaceship. Along the way, Vegeta's pride is in shambles, thinking back to how quickly Goku was able to defeat Frieza, while he was barely clinging to life before Goku rescued him. In this scenario, Goku arrives on the scene and kills Frieza before he can kill Vegeta. When they arrive on Earth, for the most part, everyone goes their separate ways, because Vegeta tagged along with Goku and co, and doesn't want to go to Capsule Corp looking for Goku. Instead, he outright challenges Goku to a rematch when they arrive on Earth. The battle was short-lived as Vegeta is easily beaten without Goku breaking much of a sweat. Take note of this fight as it will play a pivotal part in the series going forward. Following his defeat, Goku extends his hand out to Vegeta, which is slapped away. He then asks him how he got so strong, to which Goku tells Vegeta about the built-in gravity system installed in the ship, and how Bulma's dad made it for him. Vegeta takes note of this and uses it to blast off into space, telling Goku that it won't be so easy next time when he returns, and when he does come back, he will be a Super Saiyan. After a few months, give or take, Trunks would appear at Goku's house, formally introducing himself to Goku, saying that he's heard a lot about his heroic efforts and challenges him to a one-on-one. Goku accepts this, being exceptionally curious and eager to see who this mysterious warrior is. After finding a deserted wasteland, Trunks charges at Goku, engaging in hand-to-hand combat, though he's unable to land a single blow on Goku as he easily throws a flurry of kicks and pushes back the young warrior. Trunks, taken back by this, decided that his base form isn't enough and becomes a Super Saiyan. This utterly shocks Goku, leaving him astonished at Trunks' power and overwhelming aura. Trunks tells Goku that he's going to go all out and Goku should do the same, though Goku doesn't actually go all out, he just pretends to. Trunks charges at Goku with the full power of his Super Saiyan abilities, swinging his sword profusely and firing ki blasts that destroy surrounding mountains as Goku deflects and dodges them. As they exchange blows, it's clear that no one has a clear advantage, and this goes on for a little bit. Eventually, the Z Fighters sense this battle and all gather to see what's going on. Goku now decided to turn things up and goes Kaioken, dealing a devastating blow to Trunks that knocks him out of Super Saiyan and off his feet. Now, let's go over some things about Goku in this scenario before we continue. We previously established that Goku with his potential unlock had a base power level of 22 million, and with his Kaioken times 10 would be 220 million, being much stronger than Frieza's 120 million. This was determined because of the increase of power Krillin got from his potential being unlocked. We used it as a basis. I was informed after by you guys that Krillin's power seemed to cap at 75,000 after a certain period of time following his potential unlock, as was stated in the dissension. If we apply the same thing to Goku, his base power level over time will be around 227 million, which will make Goku stronger than Frieza in his base form. Speaking of this topic, I have a video out now about if Goku's base form in the Buu Saga could beat full power Frieza. I'll leave the link in the description below if you're interested in that. But getting back to the video, this makes Goku much more powerful, and this is why he didn't need Super Saiyan at this time to beat Trunks. Everyone watching it all wondering who is this strong warrior who just seconds ago was going back and forth with Goku. Trunks soon rises to his feet and congratulates Goku on his victory, telling him that the stories are true and he is truly amazing, to which Goku replies with similar camaraderie. Trunks makes a note that he beat him without even using Super Saiyan and how disappointed he is in himself, to which everyone replies, Super Saiyan? Surprised and astonished. Then, to everyone else's surprise, Vegeta appears and calls out Trunks, saying there is no way that he could be a Super Saiyan, much less have Saiyan blood coursing through his veins. Vegeta had been training in space the last few months and only returned a few days ago. He traveled to Capsule Corp after he was comfortable with the 100 times gravity and seeked out Bulma's father to make him something that could push him further. Trunks then takes note of everyone's presence and asks Goku if he could talk to him somewhere else, about a more important matter and the real reason he seeked him out in the first place. Goku agrees and they fly away to where Trunks had hid his time machine. Trunks then explains who he is and the threat that was soon to come. He shows Goku his time machine and tells him of his past, proving further that his information is accurate, and he convinces Goku that he is indeed from the future as he claimed. After Trunks tells Goku about how he became a Super Saiyan, and that Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta can achieve the same power as well, Goku thanks Trunks for his warning and wishes the time traveler farewell. When Goku returns, as before, Piccolo explains the story about the androids, with Goku confirming everything he says. Once explained, the Z Fighters all take their leave once again to train for the upcoming android threat that opposes the Earth. After 3 years, the fighters will proceed as they did in the original story. They encounter androids 19 and 20 and decide to take the battle to a different area. Everyone is pretty much the same, with an exception to Goku, Gohan, and Piccolo, as they would have been training with a much stronger Goku that would have gotten stronger themselves, as well as Goku as well. Goku and Android 19 engage in their battle again, except this time around, Goku is so powerful that he's able to defeat Android 19 even with his heart virus failure. After 19, Goku attempts to engage with Android 20, but at that point the heart virus has taken too much of a toll, and he is unable to proceed in the fight. 𝗕𝗫𝗟𝗟 starts making gains, and Piccolo senses Vegeta and does what he did before and assumes to be knocked out by 𝗕𝗫𝗟𝗟's eye beam blast, until Vegeta steps in and eliminates 𝗕𝗫𝗟𝗟, showcasing his amazing Super Saiyan abilities. In this scenario, 𝗕𝗫𝗟𝗟 isn't able to escape to his lab and wake up androids 17 and 18. So after the conclusion of the androids, they decide that they have defeated the threat and overcame Trunks' future. Trunks would arrive soon after to see the Z Fighters and possibly help them in combat, but he would soon realize that the threat was defeated, and they would tell them that they had destroyed them. After hearing this, Trunks was amazed at the capability of the Z Fighters, and exclaimed how it was impossible for him to defeat the twins in his timeline. But Piccolo made to note of this. Twins? They were not twins. It was a fat white clown and an old man. This confuses Trunks, since these androids will be different from the ones that he fought in his future, and it will cause him to search out to try to seek these much needed answers. Eventually, Trunks will encounter the second time machine and wonder, since he already came back to the past and that he was the only owner of the time machine, he thought, what does this mean? Who could this be? Soon after, Cell will make his appearance, and the Z Fighters will gather together this time, rather than Piccolo encountering him solely and then Trunks and Krillin showing up afterwards. Cell as an individual will be stronger than everybody there. However, as a team, he wouldn't be able to beat all of them. They will put up a fight, however Cell would escape using his solar flare ability as he did before. Though this time, because Piccolo isn't able to interrogate Cell using his arm method, they are left curious and unknown to who this creature is, where he came from, or what his goals are. The Z Fighters will split up and look for Cell, though they are unable to detect him as he is much more clever in his tactics this time around. Sometime during all this, Goku will awaken from his heart virus, at his house this time since he wasn't moved to Master Roshi's place. He'll make a quick outfit change, then instant transmission over to Vegeta, the highest power level that he can sense at the time. Trunks will be no doubt with Vegeta looking for Cell in some city, and Trunks will give Goku the rundown since he's been gone, what's been happening. Meanwhile, Cell is in other cities absorbing humans, becoming much more powerful, being as strong as he was before when he encountered Android 17 and Piccolo. After Cell feels complete in absorbing the humans that he needed, he's curious as to where 17 and 18 is, and wonders why he hasn't encountered them up until this point. He was programmed to know that they would be sadistic in a way that they would be terrorizing humans, or doing something destructive. He thought back to the timeline where he came from, and he remembers seeing Trunks. Maybe, just maybe, Trunks found a way to defeat the androids again in this timeline and he was too late, which would explain all the Z Fighters still being alive and around. This now caused Cell to want to find Trunks, to ask him about the androids, and take his time machine to repeat history again to go to a different time where there are androids. And I think we'll leave that right here. If you want to see part 3 to the video, let me know, and I'll continue the series. But if not, I hope you enjoyed so far. And until next time, MajinBirds. Hi, this is a continuation of Goku getting his potential unlocked by Guru series. Thank you everyone for returning, and those who are new, welcome, and I implore you to see the previous episodes if you haven't so far. Links will be in the description. Before I continue the story, I'm a bit of a crossroads here. Many of you have actually encouraged me to have Cell go to 𝗕𝗫𝗟𝗟's lab since he would know where it is in his programming. Originally, I was going to just have him assume Trunks had found a way to deactivate the androids again like he did in the timeline he came from, which would have him try to pursue Trunks' time machine again to repeat history. So after some hard thinking and late night heat tap drinking, I decided at this point in the series I'm going to split it into 2 separate stories. Since you guys suggested that he should know where 𝗕𝗫𝗟𝗟's lab is, that's the story I'm going to continue here. In the future, look for a what if 𝗕𝗫𝗟𝗟 didn't activate the androids or something like that to see my version of the story and where it would take us. One more thing I'd like to add. In the previous what if, I said Goku used instant transmission, but he didn't. Instead, he just flew over to Vegeta and Trunks, since he doesn't actually know how to use instant transmission. You guys caught me there. Good job. Without further delay, let's get on with the story. Cell calms himself. With the power he sensed from Trunks, he rethinks his entire plan. Trunks wouldn't have been strong enough to destroy the android, so it's possible that maybe 𝗕𝗫𝗟𝗟, for whatever reason, just didn't activate them. With this in mind, Cell takes a beeline for 𝗕𝗫𝗟𝗟's lab. In the meantime, Trunks and Piccolo are chatting Goku up at what he's missed. Goku couldn't help but notice how strong Vegeta has gotten and that he was a Super Saiyan. As Goku compliments him on such an achievement, Vegeta doesn't take this lightly and demands for him a rematch after this whole android debacle. To which Goku nods his head and realizes nothing's changed since he's been gone. Their peace is cut off by the surge of energy that's felt a distance away. Cell had absorbed Android 17 and was exploding with power. The Z Fighters headed over there as fast as they could. When they arrived and peered through the lab door, they could see Cell now in his semi-perfect form, looking much different and way more powerful. Cell takes note of Goku's presence. The expression on Trunks' face explodes with fear as he sees Android 18's face in one of the tanks. He tells the Z-Fighter that that's one of the androids from his timeline, though a wave of confusion came across Trunks. Still, he wondered, where was Android 17? 𝗬 emerged from the lab, ready to engage with the Z-Fighters, but Trunks was insistent on the destruction of the twins. He powered up to Super Saiyan and encouraged the Z-Fighters to fire at 𝗕𝗫𝗟𝗟's lab. Those androids can't be awakened, it will be the end of all of us. 𝗬, however, repulsed this idea and stated no one will touch them, and powered up an attack to launch at the Z-Fighters. Within a flash, 𝗬's overwhelming attack sent shockwaves around the area, sending everyone flying and knocked to their feet. Everyone except Goku, who hadn't faltered his stance too much and held his ground against the onslaught. 𝗬 was surprised to see Goku standing and commended him for his strength. Goku's unwavering glare echoed throughout the battlefield. In addition to sensing the energy of everyone in 𝗬, he could also hear the screams of the innocents he killed. This filled Goku with rage, and he unleashed his Super Saiyan form, telling 𝗬 he was going to pay for what he did. This startled 𝗬, as he sensed Goku's true power, and he was a bit afraid. 𝗬 then powered up to his maximum power and engaged Goku. The battle raged on, both Goku and 𝗬 having a much different fight than in their original story. This one was much more serious and hard-fought. As the battle raged on, it was clear that Goku was gaining the upper hand and had the edge, but he was stronger than 𝗬, but the margin wasn't a significant one. Nevertheless, Goku and 𝗬 were battle-worn. 𝗬 demanding Goku tell him how he became so powerful, while Goku sat in silence. In the back of 𝗬's mind, he knew that if he absorbed Android 18, he would be able to best Goku. But he couldn't just rush and absorb her now with Goku's focus on it, and if he left and the Z-Fighters regained consciousness, they would no doubt destroy 𝗕𝗫𝗟𝗟's lab and he wouldn't be able to achieve perfection. So he devised a plan.
Son Goku, you have bested me. I now see where true strength comes from, and I can see the error in my ways. This planet has nothing more to offer me. Allow me to leave, and I will never return.
Goku was in shock at the mere audacity for 𝗬 to ask for mercy, knowing what he had shown none to those before him.
How many people begged for their lives at your feet and you killed them anyway?
𝗬 sat in silence, with his head down, seemingly in shame. Goku thought to himself for a moment, then looked back at 𝗬. If I ever see you again, I will put an end to you here, he thought. Leave now before I change my mind. 𝗬 began to raise himself in the sky and turned his back to Goku, positioning himself to Goku's surprise, then swiping around and firing a blast toward the fallen Z-Fighters. Goku quickly powered back into Super Saiyan and redirected the blast, saving everyone. Goku screamed and flew towards him. 𝗬 let off an evil smirk.
Solar Flare!
With that, the battleground lit up with a bright flare, and Goku hesitated, blinded by the attack. 𝗬 then took this opportunity to make a beeline for 𝗕𝗫𝗟𝗟's lab, with a sinister grin on his face. When Goku started to regain his eyesight, he was blinded by another light, but this one was emerald green. In the midst of this, the Z-Fighters started to regain consciousness. They stood to their feet in shock as they watched 𝗬's aura eclipse the surrounding area. He had done it. He achieved perfection. Vegeta, furious at how easily he was cast aside, powered up. With that, he charged towards him, putting everything he had into a single kick to 𝗬's neck, which couldn't do anything but make 𝗬 let out a subtle smile. Vegeta backed off in shock of the overwhelming power 𝗬 had possessed. 𝗬's smile soon fell and he became much more intense.
Now then, we can have a more formal meeting. Defenders of the Earth, I am Perfect 𝗬. I'm sure by now you all have many questions, and I'd be happy to indulge your curiosity. However, I have a few of my own. In particular for you, Goku. I was created for the purpose of absorbing Androids 17 and 18 and achieving perfection, and killing you, Goku, was at the top of my priorities. Because of this, it's easy for me to believe you to be formidable. However, you are much more powerful than I would have ever given you credit for. How did you get so strong? By my calculation, you shouldn't have even been able to defeat the androids, let alone hold your own with me in my quest for perfection.
Goku sat in silence. 𝗬's eyes immediately shoot over to Trunks, whose anger and hatred couldn't be suppressed.
Was it you, Trunks? That must be it. You warned them of their inevitable doom.
Cell glances back over to Goku.
That's how your strength grew. Tell me, Goku, could you get even stronger with more time?
Curiosity filled the Z Fighters' eyes as their minds raced. What could Cell be planning? What was his end goal?
In 10 days' time, I will host a mini tournament called the Cell Games, and you've all been personally invited to be soon by your host, me.
Hey guys, MajinBird here. So, what you think of the episode? Be sure to let me know in the comment section below, good or bad, as both do help. I want to apologize to you guys for taking so long to come out with this part 3 and promise that it would never happen again. My upload schedule will be much more frequent now, and I'll make sure that everything is consistent. Part 4 should come out around the same time that this did, next week. For new fans, I urge you to go back and watch the other 2 parts so you're caught up. For my old guys, for everyone who have made it to the end of the video and walked with me on this journey, I thank you. You're an irreplaceable fan that I'd like to be a part of the main MajinBird family, and I implore you to join the Dragon Ball HQ Discord server in the description. Here I'd like to garner a core fan base of Dragon Ball fans where we can celebrate and discuss the miracle that is Dragon Ball. Thank you.